Woman dies and discovers the astonishing secrets of her past lives. I'm delighted to be here, sharing the remarkable account of Emily's near-death experience. During the 7th month of pregnancy with my second child, I had a profound near-death experience that reshaped my perspective on life. My husband and I were en route to the supermarket for our routine grocery shopping when the unexpected occurred. I was singing along to the radio, in high spirits, when suddenly, the seat I occupied was drenched in crimson. It was as though gallons of red paint had been unleashed upon me and the seat itself. My gaze dropped and I lost consciousness. In reality, I had succumbed to severe bleeding caused by placenta previa, a condition where the placenta ruptures internally. Once again, I found myself traversing a tunnel-like sensation, akin to being drawn through an immense black conduit by an enormous vacuum cleaner. My sense of place had entirely dissipated. Then I stood before an expansive movie projection screen, akin to the interior of a movie theater. There, I bore witness to my own birth and the pain my biological mother endured during labor. I watched as she left me on the steps of a nunnery in northern Maine, nestled within a substantial basket on a bitterly cold March day. She knocked on the nunnery's door and departed. I observed the array of foster homes I passed through as an infant, the instances of abuse inflicted upon me. Oddly, I did not feel the anguish of these experiences, be it the abuse, starvation, illness, or physical harm. Rather, I observed them from a detached vantage point, as if I were merely watching a film. I witnessed the parents who welcomed me as a foster child at the age of approximately 2.5, treating me with kindness and affection, eventually adopting me. I observed my entire life, from the highs to the lows, from the joys of raising 11 boys throughout the years. 2 were my biological sons, while the others were children whose parents had abandoned or mistreated them, children whom I had embraced into my home. My life was perpetually filled with children, happiness, and the delight of a bustling household. I observed my entire life, leading up to the moment when I was en route to the supermarket, and even glimpsed into the future with the children I had nurtured and raised following the birth of my second son. My life's purpose had always revolved around raising children, offering them a loving home, and ensuring they felt secure and cherished. In a world where many parents treated their children poorly, I aspired to be the parent these children deserved. To this day, all the boys I raised remain in contact with me, and I hold them close to my heart. The review of my past life felt akin to watching a movie on fast forward. I experienced every hurtful word and action I had inflicted on others throughout my life, feeling the pain I had caused in the same manner as those who had been on the receiving end. This was particularly poignant for me, as my childhood had been marked by bullying due to physical deformities stemming from rickets since infancy. I had retaliated with hurtful words, and during this experience, those very words reverberated back to me, allowing me to understand the impact they had on the bullies, despite their own cruelty towards me due to my differences. In essence, the past life review became an act of self-judgment. It imparted invaluable lessons about love and unconditional acceptance of others. There was no encounter with a deity seated on a celestial throne, passing judgment. Instead, the judgment emanated from within oneself. It became apparent that divinity embodies pure, unconditional love for all. This profound realization was the essence of my transformative encounter during my clinical death experience. The phenomenon of near-death experiences, NDEs, has long fascinated researchers and philosophers alike. When individuals describe their NDEs and speak of journeys to what is often perceived as a realm akin to hell, it often begs the question, what factors underlie these vivid and haunting experiences? One theory suggests that the sensation of descending into a hellish state during an NDE might be connected to feelings of intense guilt and an inability to forgive oneself for past actions. In essence, it could be an emotional distancing from the divine love or the presence of a higher power. This conceptualization views hell not as a literal inferno, but as the absence of the profound sense of God's love, an experience that can be deeply unsettling. It's crucial to emphasize that there are no definitive answers in this realm of inquiry. NDEs, by their very nature, remain shrouded in mystery and are deeply personal experiences. Some argue that the inner attitudes, fears, and intentions of an individual can profoundly shape their afterlife experiences. In the event that one finds themselves in a distressing or hellish realm during an NDE, the notion is that reaching out to a higher power, often referred to as God, can lead to a transformative rescue. It's believed that this act of reaching out can elevate the individual to a higher vibrational plane, transcending the nightmarish state. The concept of vibrational states holds particular significance in discussions of the afterlife. All life, it is proposed, vibrates at varying frequencies, and these vibrations intricately mold our experiences. Lower vibrational frequencies are often associated with malevolent actions, and individuals who commit such actions might find themselves in realms resonating with these low vibrations. This could mean being surrounded by souls resonating at similar frequencies and experiencing emotions like pain, despair, and hopelessness. For some, NDEs offer glimpses into these potentially hellish states, serving as cautionary tales or opportunities for profound learning. However, it is worth noting that these experiences, whether heavenly or hellish, are subjective and deeply influenced by the individual's unique perspectives and beliefs. Ultimately, the terrain of near-death experiences remains one of the most enigmatic facets of human existence, challenging our understanding of life, death, and the mysteries that lie beyond. That's all I remember from my second near-death experience, NDE. Due to my heart condition, known as sudden cardiac death syndrome, I've had a total of 4 NDEs. Interestingly, I no longer fear death. Instead, I've developed a curiosity about what happens when we return to the realm of the living. Often, people report being told they must come back because there are specific lessons or experiences their souls need to undergo. Personally, I've often wished I could return with clear instructions about my purpose, but perhaps that would unravel the beautiful mystery of life. So in a peculiar way, I find gratitude in not being able to remember every detail of my NDEs or the profound insights into life's mysteries they might hold. These gaps in memory are why we can't recall everything we were told or shown during these experiences. As a result, I've reached a point where I no longer harbor any fear of death. It's a transition that feels glorious and entirely natural, less painful than the process of being born into this world, and nothing to be afraid of. One particularly enlightening lesson I learned pertains to suicide. During one of my NDEs, an angelic or radiant being conveyed to me that when people take their own lives, it delays their spiritual growth. Upon arriving on the other side, they require a form of healing. This revelation brought solace to my heart, especially in light of the suicide of a friend of my son, who resided with us. I had always pondered the fate of souls who had taken their own lives, and I found comfort in the belief that they are ushered to a place akin to a spiritual hospital for recovery. It contradicts certain religious teachings that suggest suicide victims are condemned to hell. In my view, God's love is boundless, and the notion of eternal damnation for such individuals is a misconception perpetuated by some religions. Right before my life review during my transition, I experienced a profound epiphany. All the questions I had held throughout my earthly existence were answered in an instant. I gained a deep comprehension of the universe, the genesis of planets, and how the source of all creation, which I'll refer to as the God Source, initiated it all. I was taken back to the very dawn of creation and recognized that we are all fundamental particles of the same source. This realization brought an overwhelming sense of unconditional love, as we are all interconnected parts of a larger whole and have known each other for eternity. It felt like returning to the place where we all originated. Life on earth, I understood, was but a fleeting moment in the grand tapestry of eternity. On the other side, time held no significance, and as souls, we were eternally connected. I appreciate the opportunity to share my near-death experience, and I encourage others to do the same. Thank you for joining us in today's episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you next time.